Namaste. I, Anuradha, would like to thank all of you for liking and subscribing to our Spotify and our YouTube channels. Today, we are going to talk about a continuum topic that we had taken up earlier, the Bhrigu Bindu. What is the Bhrigu Bindu is something that we have defined in a previous video. Please do go have a good look at it, because there we have explained how the Bhrigu Bindu acts in all the 12 houses. And why is it important for us? Just a small recap. Bhrigu Bindu is an unconscious direction into which our life follows. It is something like flowing in a particular direction. So Bhrigu Bindu is important for all of us. If we are aware of the Bhrigu Bindu, if we know the transits, then Bhrigu Bindu can open up a lot of avenues in our lives, a lot of make life smoother, paths open up if you're aware of the area, the terrain that you are transiting. So when does Bhrigu Bindu give effect? Anything in our chart will give effect on 3 counts. If there is a yoga present, if there is a dasha, antardasha, pratyantar working to that effect, and finally the transit is the call of the day. The transit is the delivery man who gives you the final say, yes or otherwise. So all these things have to be important. When we talk about the yoga, as Bhrigu Bindu, as I had told you last time, it is the flow of life in a particular direction, wherever it is placed, whichever nakshatra it is placed, house, a sign, all those things are taken into account. So yoga definitely is present with respect to the Bhrigu Bindu. That is what you're continuously thinking, and what you think, that is where you put in your energy. So yes, that yoga is present. When we talk about the dasha, antardasha, and the pratyantardasha, in that case, we have to be well aware of the fact that dasha, antardasha, pratyantar, any one of them will match. A time will come when we can fructify certain things in our life. So it is important to be aware of that period also. Last but not the least, the transits. The transits are of 2 types. The transit of Shubha Graha, that is the benefics, or a Papi Graha, that is the malefics. Malefics by nature give us problems. They bring hurdles, obstacles in the path that one is walking down, and benefics smoothen the path, open up new avenues, show the way. So let us move into an example here. Let us check out, let us see what it could mean. Now, when we're talking about the transit of a benefic, okay, or a malefic also, first this point, let me clear it out. How will they affect the Bhrigu Bindu? They affect the Bhrigu Bindu in 2 ways. That is on the 1-7 axis. What do we mean by 1-7 axis? When a planet is conjunct or transiting right over the Bhrigu Bindu, or the area of the Bhrigu Bindu, then it is said to be conjunct with the Bhrigu Bindu. In contrast, when the planet is aspecting the Bhrigu Bindu from the 7th house, it is said to be on the 1-7 axis with the Bhrigu Bindu. Another phenomenon is when the planets in the trines to the Bhrigu Bindu, or for that matter, planets in trines bring up the effect very easily, and they support because they are of the same element. They are in the same element. So they are, as we say, we are in our element. We have a common element, so we know how to rise to the occasion. So the planets, when they are in the same elements, that is when they are in trine to the Bhrigu Bindu, they will get the Bhrigu Bindu to be working hard, or they will be supporting that issue of the Bhrigu Bindu. This is more true about Jupiter, and I have just made a video on Jupiter transiting into Aquarius, where I have shown the effect of Jupiter in trines. If your Bhrigu Bindu happens to be in one of the trines with Jupiter or 1-7, don't forget to watch that video also. So when we talk about transit, either it is the trine or on the 1-7 that they affect the Bhrigu Bindu and bring out its stronger points, provided they are a benefic planet, that is, they are Jupiter, Venus, and Mars, Mercury. And if it is a negative or a malefic planet, Saturn, Rahu, and Mars, or Ketu for that matter, See, I'd like to clarify something here. When we're talking about Rahu, this is the Rahu in Gochar or this is the Rahu in transit, not the Rahu which is involved in creating the Bhrigu Bindu. So when Rahu is also transiting over Bhrigu Bindu, it can bring about worry for you. It can bring about a panic kind of anxiety kind of a situation that you're not able to do that particular work. Say, supposing somebody has their Bhrigu Bindu in the 9th house and that person is always studying, trying to explore the truth, going into deep study. All of a sudden, Rahu starts moving over your Bhrigu Bindu, is trining with your Bhrigu Bindu. You get anxious that probably I'm not studying enough. I'm not getting enough time to complete my work. That is the kind of situation that can come up. On the contrary, if there's Jupiter which is transiting over your Bhrigu Bindu, if it is Jupiter which is in trine with your Bhrigu Bindu, then it is a possibility that you would be able to study deep. You would be able to find out new things. You would find avenues opening up for you so that you can learn new things, because Jupiter represents studies, higher studies, and in the 9th house with the Bhrigu Bindu, it actually is in trine with it, gives you an ability to work hard. Now, if somebody has, let's take it for all the planets in different houses, and so we can have a comparative also. Say somebody has in the 2nd house Bhrigu Bindu and Mars is working towards it. Mars can work, any planet can work in two ways. Mars can give you the energy to think, to find ways how to garner new lot of wealth for your family, and it can give you the impetus to work hard for the family. On the other hand, it can make you angry, it can make you steal money to earn, because Mars is also the thief. It can be a general, it can be the thief, and that is as per Tarkalamrita. So you can strategize, you can work, you can find avenues to earn wealth. At the same time, as Mars is afflicted, if Mars is low in your chart, in that case, that same Mars will make you restore you to thieving for earning a living. Saturn, if it is walking over your Bhrigu Bindu, if it is aspecting your Bhrigu Bindu, it can make you work real hard to earn that education. It can separate you from your family to earn that education, to earn money for your family. It can make you responsible for earning a good living for your family. At the same time, this Saturn can make you lazy. This Saturn can give you a kind of depressed mentality. It can lower your income, and it can create a lot of tension in your mind. Many a times we see that the tension is the natural fall. It is because we are not allowing that Saturn to move on to a higher octave. This is a topic for some other time. Similarly, when the fast moving planets like Venus and Mercury, they are also benefics. When they are moving, you will notice that things will open up for you in shots. They very fast, they react, they move over your Bhrigu Bindu, opening up new avenues. Mercury gives you opportunities for earning. Somebody has a Bhrigu Bindu in the 11th house. Mercury talks about your earnings. It gives you a quick business decision to be made so that you can move into a new area of earning. Venus is moving over your 2nd house, or let's take your 5th house. It will give you a fine art opening where you can showcase your talent, and you can become known, you can be known for your talents. So these are the avenues that we see many planets moving into. When Ketu is moving over the Bhrigu Bindu, say in the 9th house, in that case, Ketu will take you deep into occult, and it will make the journey go inward instead of outward. So the Bhrigu Bindu is an important point, and transits do matter, because the dasha, antar, pratyantar, shukshma, any of them will at one point hit with that planet. So you have to be aware of that time, and you have to then go ahead and do your work according to that time. So supposing we take up a few charts to work on. We'll continue with the same charts that we had taken in the last session. Say we had seen for B.V. Ramanji that his Bhrigu Bandhu was in Bharani, which is the house of transformation, which is the Nakshatra of transformation, and it is in the 3rd house. 3rd house calls for courage and transformation all the way. So yes, he was the one who was a pioneer in taking the sciences, the occult sciences of the East to the West, and offer them our knowledge and making us very, very well known for that knowledge. He was also a great prolific writer, and he was the one who had the courage to establish the ICAS, as I had said then, the Indian Council of Astrological Sciences. Now, when we look at his Bhrigu Bindu, we will see that it was in November 1984 that he established ICAS. At that time, the three major planets, which the outer planets, which give results slowly but steadily, they're important because Saturn and Jupiter, when combined, when they throw their light together at a particular place, they give the ability for construction of something new. Mars helps in drawing the plans to the great capacity. So it was his Bhrigu Bindu, which was at that time aspected by Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars, all the three of it. And that gave him the ability, that gave him the occasion to establish ICAS in 1984. It was a retrograde Jupiter, it was a retrograde Saturn, so the problems may not have been that huge. And because it's a retrograde Jupiter, it started on a small scale, but now it has mushroomed into a huge organization with many people studying under its umbrella. We move on to Marie Curie's chart. In Marie Curie's chart, we know that her Bhrigu Bindu was on her Lagna, and it was in 1987 when Jupiter was aspecting the Bhrigu Bindu from the ninth house, the house of Mangalya, or the legality of marriage. And Jupiter is also the second and the fifth lord, which again talks about romance, higher studies. It talks about having the same thought process. And it also talks about a family and a union and higher education. It was aspecting her Bhrigu Bindu in 1985, and that was the year when she got married. Last but not the least, let's talk about Muhammad Ali. As I told you, when we have fast-moving planets, Venus and Mercury, and that too as benefics moving over the Bhrigu Bindu, they give beautiful results in 1960. But then we can always say, we can always debate that the Bhrigu Bindu is visited by these fast-moving planets every year. The dasha antardasha pratyantar will not be the same. And the yoga in that case will have changed because of the dasha antardasha pratyantar. So that is something that we need to take into account. It was during that time that with the advent of Venus and Mercury transiting over his fifth house, which represents sports, which represents fast movement, for which Muhammad Ali was famous for, were moving over Mercury, and Jupiter were moving, Mercury and Venus were moving over his Anuradha Nakshatra and the Nakshatra of giving devotion, where he was so devoted to his career, to his art, that he eventually won the Olympics gold. So the crux of the matter is that Bhrigu Bindu becomes very active when there is a transit. A transit of a benefic gives things smoothly. A transit of a malefic requires hard work, planning, and at certain levels anxiety on our path. But when we understand that, concluded with our dasha antardasha period, very smoothly the life flows on. So do write into us, let us know how you found this video and how has this Bhrigu Bindu unfolded out in your lives. Do let us know on that. Till we meet again, stay safe.
Please hit the bell icon for fresh updates. Don't forget to like, share and comment on the videos, and please subscribe to our channel.